Hello, I'm Abby Phillip with This Week with George Stephanopoulos, and I'm here with Chris Hughes, publisher and editor-in-chief of The New Republic, and co-founder of Facebook. And because we believe all politics is social here at This Week, we're taking some of your questions on Facebook to Chris. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
So we have our first question from Karen Jansen, who wants to know what you think your most meaningful contribution to Facebook was.
Well, when we started Facebook about 10 years ago, we were trying to do something pretty simple, enable people to connect to their friends, their family, and the people that they cared about. What's amazing is the Facebook that we started then was incredibly basic. You know, each person had a profile, but you had one photo, you had your favorite interests, and you didn't even have basic things like messaging or commenting or the wall. So the Facebook that exists now is leaps and bounds ahead of what we did then. Some of the stuff that I really enjoyed working on was the initial photos feature, which enabled people to tag their friends, which seems like second nature now, but was new on the internet then. Yeah. Some of the things like the poke, the messaging, that sort of stuff, which all again seems antiquated in 2013, but was new in 2004.
A lot of people are very interested in the fact that you, at 29, you've had all this success in your college dorm room. You helped start Facebook. Linda Rogitz wants to know, how do you do it all?
It's been a busy few years. No, it's one of the key things, whether it was with Facebook or now at the New Republic, is to be surrounded by really talented people. And right now, whether it's the editor that I have, my chief operating officer, the people who run the ads team, it's really an unparalleled group of people. And so I wouldn't be able to do anything, whether it's what I'm doing now or a few years ago, without the help of really smart people around me.
And Thomas Nixon relatedly wants to know, as someone who wants to be a young entrepreneur, what advice do you have for him if he wants to start a business in the next 5 or 10 years?
Well, it really depends on what the field is. If it's an internet company, one of the things that's amazing is that the cost of entry, the cost of creating something new, is very low. So you can learn a few basic skills, you can become a coder, and the next thing you know, you have an app in the App Store, or you have a website up. And in that sphere, I think it's great just to try it out and experiment. You know, whether it's something you do on the evenings or the weekends, there are very few limits for innovation. In other fields, of course, it's a little bit more challenging. You know, oftentimes you need more capital investment, you need deeper skills and familiarity. And in those things, I think really pursuing an education and finding the human resources, friends and family and experts that you can rely on, is incredibly important.
And this week, a new iteration of The New Republic is going to be launched, and this magazine is almost 100 years old. We have a question from Rosemary Holt, who wants to know, what are you going to do to preserve this magazine's historic mission, and what can people expect?
So with the redesigned New Republic, we're trying to hold on to this 100-year-old tradition of doing deep analysis on politics and culture. But we're also trying to broaden that and cover everything from technology to science to the world of ideas in a way that's really accessible, in a way that feels like it invites you in as a reader. So I think that in 2013, in order to do that, we have to have a website where you can listen to our content, where you can engage in social conversations with it, and where it's just as easy to read it on your iPhone as it is on your computer screen. So when we expand the company from where it's been historically, it's about broadening the content that we provide, but also making sure that it's as easy as possible to not only read it, but also discuss it.
So your friend, Mark Zuckerberg, recently announced that he would be hosting a fundraiser for Republican Governor Chris Christie. What do you make of that sort of odd pairing? And we have a question from Carol Stanton, who wants to know, are you going to go with the Dem candidate since Zuckerberg is going with Christie?
One of the things I love about Mark is that he's not a predictable person when it comes to technology or politics. I mean, I for one have a lot of questions about Chris Christie, particularly because less than a year ago he vetoed a marriage equality bill in the New Jersey state legislature, which for me personally, I got married to my husband last June, was just really personally frustrating. I mean, there are tens of thousands of couples in New Jersey that can't share their love and be recognized under the law because of that decision. And so I'm not a single issue voter, and I think most people aren't either. But for me personally, it would raise serious concerns about supporting someone like him.
And your involvement in politics in 2008, you helped President Obama with his digital strategy. You were credited with a lot of the successes there. You also recently interviewed President Obama for the magazine. And
we did.
What was that like?
It was an incredible opportunity. I mean, we see our role at the New Republic as one where we want to ask hard questions of our leaders. And whatever you may think about President Obama, I think one of the things that is in the history of the New Republic and the press in general is to hold our leaders accountable. So we got a chance to go to the Oval Office, Frank Foer, the editor of the New Republic, and I, and sit down with him for 45 minutes and have a wide-ranging conversation about everything from Syria to economic policy to guns and to football, which was a really wonderful opportunity for us, and I hope will give our readers an additional dimension into what's going on in the president's mind as he starts his second term.
Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. And thank you to everyone who submitted questions online. Be sure to follow us at This Week ABC on Twitter and like us on Facebook at This Week ABC.